Hey, have you ever played the lottery? If you said no, let me guess. You think it's a waste of money and the chances are too low to win the jackpot, right? But you and your parents surely have insurances, right? Like on your property or something. Did you or they ever use it to cover big expenses? Like real big expenses? So why are we buying insurances but don't play as much the lottery? Let's find out. I'm new to this whole YouTube thing and I want to improve myself to give you better content. I want to talk with you about economics, its history, its impact, and also why it's important for us all and therefore understand the world a little bit better. If you are interested in these topics or you just want to see the channel grow, please do not forget to click subscribe. Also, please let me know in the comments below what I can do better and what topics you're interested in. With this out of the way, let's go back to the video. Let's make a thought experiment. I'll give you a dice and you can select between two games. Game 1. You roll the dice and if the number is 6, you'll get 50 bucks. Sounds good? Game 2. You roll the dice and if the number is not a 6, you'll get 10 bucks. Which game do you want to play? Do you want to play for the 50 bucks with where you have to hit the 6? Or do you want to play for the 10 bucks where you have to hit any number except the 6? Make your guess. Choose wisely. So which one you want to play? Am I right that you choose game 2? Why is that? Because the chances you're winning are higher? Well, that's true, but the expected win is always exactly the same. If you would lose the game, nothing would change for you, but if you're rolling the dice 6 times, you should win on average 50 bucks. So why is it that most of the people would opt in for game 2? That's because people tend to be risk adverse, meaning instead of going for the higher profit, they opt for the safe route, even though that means taking a smaller profit. However, when it comes about losing their property, people usually like to avoid the risk of losing their property, why they rather pay for insurances instead of saving the money they spend on insurances and invest in a field where they much rather have some kind of profit. This is described in the prospect theory by Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, which helps to explain the decision-making process and is an essential element of behavioral economics. Kahneman being awarded for the theory even with the Nobel Prize in 2002. Kahneman is also the author of a few interesting books like Thinking Fast and Slow, which is summarizing Kahneman's research conducted over the years tackling topics like cognitive biases, prospect theory, but also happiness. His latest book was just published in 2021 and is called Noise, a Flaw in Human Judgment, discussing why people make bad judgments and how to make better ones. So if you're interested in this, I'll link both in the description below. For positive events, we rather act risk averse, and for negative events, we are rather willing to take a risk. Also, the higher the gain or less, the less important it becomes for us, meaning the first million is way sweeter than the second, and I mean, who didn't make a million yet? And if we went on a binge during a diet, the next chocolate or cup of ice cream doesn't matter anymore, as we're already too deep in. Well, at least that's something we can relate to, right? But why is that the case? Well, first of all, we as human beings do not function in a completely rational manner. The concept of the Homo economicus was a concept which was brought up in the 1940s, but it's far away from how we are. We as humans are way more affected by feelings, hope, social pressure and other things that we might not even expect. Often we, and that's something I can't exclude myself from, we are just stubborn to make certain things or don't want to do certain things. Or We are just overestimating the outcome of an event, ourselves or the counterparty, or being superstitious, and this is all described in the overconfidence over confidentiality bias. Sometimes we fall victim to the anchoring effect with a self-fulfilling prophecy. Also, status quo biases could be hindering us. That means we're taking bigger risks to maintain a situation or a status than just trying something new or changing the situation. We just value too much what we have. That's also something that's described in the endowment effect. That means that things that are in our possession, we're valuing more than others would do. So if you're trying to sell something, you would probably ask for a price which is way too high and others would not be willing to pay, and you're kind of disappointed that you're not getting the price that you imagined. Maybe because you fell victim to the endowment effect and the object is objectively not worth that much. So what can we learn from this? Well, I think the most important thing is to realize that we are all rather tend to be risk adverse. Because if we realize that, we can challenge ourselves. Second, we need to ask ourselves, are we risking something or not? If you're not risking something, why shouldn't we take the risk for the higher reward, as there's nothing to lose? Let's not think about that it's probably not happening, but what if we're the lucky ones? Maybe you are the lucky one. Give it a shot. Maybe it will work for you. But if you're not trying, it will never happen. So be optimistic and think about what will be when you actually get what you're dreaming of. That would be damn cool, right? But what about if we have something to lose? Well, it's okay to be scared. We are all scared. Probably we are scared every day, asking ourselves, what if I don't make it? What if I fail this and that? But is it really so bad? I mean, it depends on what's on stake, right? Hey, failing is a part of life, but how often is really something big at stake? Remember, the possibility that something really bad is going to happen, usually it's really slim. If it's about money, it's just not important. I know if you're struggling at the end of the month with getting food on the table, it just sucks and you can't really afford losing any more money, right? But it's just money, and imagine it would be about a loved one, a family member. They are so much more important than money, right? And if the other person doesn't care about you, it is just not important. Those people who care about you, they will stick with you. They will have your back if you are messing up, and if you didn't make it, it just doesn't matter. Just don't be afraid of asking for help. It's okay to ask for help, and I'm pretty sure whatever you want to achieve in your life, you'll get there. Just make the first step towards your goal, and even if it takes sometimes a little bit longer, you'll get there and everything will be alright, and you'll see. Just start doing something and take care. I hope to see you in the next one.